What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky third-party transforming things review, sort of, we're going to be going over... Oh, dang it. Stay on there. We're going to be going over the combination of all of these from the big FireBird build MAGICHENSHIN series. So we got these little robo girls and their dog that have to combine. And it's going to be a doozy of a thing. Yeah. So individually, I will break down how they all need to go, along with the accessories that are going to be needed or negated or changed out to make combinations happen. And I do have the instructions handy, so it does have a whole separate instruction thingy here. Although, if I'm right, it has it from vehicle mode. Yep, it has vehicle. It's from vehicle mode for all of them. So this whole thing has backfired on me tremendously. Actually, it's not even that bad, realistically, because the only ones that it's beneficial to be in vehicle mode is those girls. Because even this guy, I still think this is a guy. He's gonna just kind of come apart and splay out. So, all right. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with these girls, and yeah. So realistically, for the extra accessories and stuff, you're gonna want to take their kind of plain mode thing here, kind of fold it in and over itself, and that, well, I had to discover was actually treated as a shield. So you could do it either that way, or you can bring this inside, do it that way. Either way, this is slightly more solid, though it doesn't matter. And then you take the little, like, fairy butterfly thingy-do, and basically you're just going to insert it into there. And then in combine mode, they'll just hold it by that rod as a shield. So, no big deal, but just something that happens. Looking at the instructions, I don't think it matters what hands I use. I don't think it'll matter, but if if her hands get in the way, we'll find out. So we're going to start with Bluey here because she's annoying and her arm's going to pop off. So let's extend the shoulder fluffers here. And basically we're going to kind of just get her into combine mode. It is super easy to just go ahead and remove the hands. You're not supposed to, but it's easy to do so. This part will rotate 180 degrees this way, and then you want to bend at the elbow and push that in, so that's what we're looking at. So let's try that on the arm that's still attached. So straighten out her forearm, rotate that around, bend at the elbow, push that in, and see how that just sort of snug fits together. That's what we're looking for. So let's see if we can get her arm to frickin' stay on. It's like just that peg that holds it on. It's just barely wrong. Okay. We want to rotate the lower body 180 degrees. Just flip her around at the belly so that we get all of this mess happening here. And then this is where we have to attach the extra parts, which are these thingies, which, you know, in and of themselves look like snowshoes. So, like, I don't think it's a mistake that they happen to look like a foot. So it almost looks like that in and of itself should be a thing. So this needs to hook back here inside that spot. Sorry, I had it upside down. That part needs to hook back in there. So it fits over her face, kind of like a CPAP machine. Like a CPAP mask. If you know, you know. Okay, so the arms we want to pull forward. And we got the hole there. Going to plug in to there. And this is usually where that forearm wants to let go, because the shoulders are so freaking tight. This is where I also say I'm not sure the hands matter at all to the transformation, but we'll find out when we get to Pinky. Also, I just want to call her Pinkie Pie, but I know that's actually My Little Pony. reference. And I hate that I know that, but, you know, sometimes you just have to know things when you're part of nerd culture. Okay, so once again, we're going similar to vehicle mode, but not the same. So basically, we've got this section up here. I think we're pretty much set. Kind of just tilt this like that, and then we want the kneecap part to come up like so. And then all of that can just, whoa, is that supposed to come apart? I don't remember. Or is it only for... See, that would have made more sense. I forgot it was pegged into their back whenever I was setting them up for bot mode. That was my bad. We need to do the legs, so we need this part to flip up like so, and then these need to rotate around and plug in to there. This is where having everybody in the right position is going to make a difference. So if I messed anything up, we'll find out. Okay. So that's that. So that gives us the heel here. So the main difference between this and vehicle mode is how you fold the legs. For vehicle mode, you have them folded up the other way. For this mode, you're basically doing this, for lack of a better description of how to do it. It's basically that. Same thing. Up and back, ankles tucked away. So, like, ultimately, like, if they really wanted to streamline this figure, it would be remove the legs for transformation. Like, that would be my ultimate goal, I would think. Like, these are just there. They're just kind of pointless. And then, just like the actual feet themselves, you know, pretty damn pointless. But there we go. There's the legs transformed properly. Only thing I need to know is which one's on which side. I think it's like this. Cool. Cool. Alright, so to transform our little gun-shaped friend here, just yoink his head off, fold that handle in, and put that down. So it's going to be a hammer. So oddly enough, they don't use this as a gun, even though it has a gigantic handle. They also don't use it as a cannon or anything else like that. It's just kind of freaking weird. I figured they would do that, you know, because you could easily just, you know, that any other transformer would 100% hold that. We'll talk more about that when we get to that part of the thing. So for the legs, we want to splay them out. I forget which direction we're facing. Okay, so we got, this is a proper direction. Go ahead and rotate there. Go ahead and unfold all of this. So there's our hand. And then I believe we want to fold this up like so. And I believe that is our arm down here, done correctly. And then we turn the shoulder flare up that way. And then we just clearance for the chest. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Go ahead and do this part. Rotate at the bicep, used to be a thigh. Unlatch that. Unfold all of this. Fold the foot back, the hand down, and collapse it up and back like so, forming the forearm and the elbow. And there we go. There's our combined mode upper torso. And this hole here will come in handy later. So, but that's it. He's got the easiest one. And by the way, he does come with the other hands. So I'll show that off later when we get to that part. Oh, and the visor as well. But there we go. Pretty much boobs and arms. That's really all we get out of this guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get Scarlet Sonic here in her combined form. You go ahead and pull off the hands, and in reality, we kind of just end up with her in motorcycle mode, just about. So we want the exhaust pipes flipped around, and just kind of have the arms out, have her hair back. We do want to turn her head 180, once again, just like in robot mode. And I think we also want her body kind of split up like that. I'm going to bring the head back and sort of have the exhaust pipes like this. And I think we want these turned around like in vehicle mode as well. I could be wrong on that. I'm gonna have to consult the instructions a little bit, I think. Okay, so I was kind of wrong. So you want the backside to be facing the backside, and just sort of up and collapsed into the butt a little bit. You want the legs more or less in this orientation, and you want the arms kind of inverted to what I thought they were supposed to be. And honestly, I clearly misunderstood that. And it shows them really far back, but that is really stretching what the shoulders can do. The other thing you want to do is bring these bits forward. So you are really kind of utilizing the motorcycle mode. Then again, let me double check on that, because that doesn't seem right. I don't remember her having those tusks out front, so to speak. Because she's coming from motorcycle mode, so it's possible. Yeah, they're just kind of there. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So she's in about halfway in motorcycle mode, and just kind of awkward. Really freaking weird. So that's enough out of Scarlet Sonic. Let's go over to the Lightning Girl. Alright, so now we've got good old Thunderlight here. And we're only going to need a couple things. So we do need her alternate fists. And we're going to go ahead and pull these off, because we're not going to need them. We're actually going to end up sacrificing a good bit of her parts for this, which is one of the weirder things here. Like, there's parts forming, and then there's, like, getting rid of a good chunk. So you actually need to remove her little boobies. Like, just remove it entirely, because it's just really strange. You just don't want them anymore, I guess. I mean, technically, she's getting some better ones here in a minute, so it is what it is. Oh, hello. I better just knock that light out. Stay. Or don't stay. Whatever. Which one am I working with here? This is, I think, the left one. I think so. Because that's meant to be a thumb, so I guess that would be left. If I'm wrong, it'll come out in the wash. Okay, so plug that on there. And we're going to make use of those here in a second. Next thing up, we have to go ahead and yank her head off. As weird as that sounds, you don't use her head for this. And, yeah, so she has a bit of an opening in that direction. Probably the best way to pull that off. Now, you're not even really going to utilize that head joint, but it does have to stay. The legs kind of just stay how they are, but you want to drop down the toes like this, because those are going to become very important. Now, the other thing is we need to bring the arms back. Make sure your elbows are facing in. And rotate at the wrist. Is that right? Maybe the elbows are out. I'm an idiot. So that seems to be the only way that will go. Alright, so the other thing is you want to rotate that and plug it onto there. I do have some stress marks happening right there. And you can see how this is shaping up in a literal sense. So her arms and hands become her backside, even though she already kind of had one. So that's that for her. So let's move on. Okay, now that they're all kind of prepped and together here, let's start with the torso and legs. And I do believe Pinky is on the left leg, so you're going to take the toes here and insert it into there. And this one always gives me a problem, so you need to insert that deep enough, and then you need to push down here, and all of that will flatten out and hook into place kind of up front there. So we need this to be splayed open just a bit. Nothing too ridiculous, but we need access to that little port there. So we really want this going on. And now Bluey, you guys know, Bluey is the troublemaker of the bunch. So we'll see if we can get it to work effectively. I'm holding onto the arms so that it won't just frickin' pop off. So shove that down there. And then we need that to lock in place. Hey, it worked out pretty well that time. Okay, and once again, kind of finagle this out. We gotta have this out of the way to really make for clearance. Kind of do that number. And you can position them however you need to. Make sure everything is still squozen properly. Try to utilize those ankles to get it to stand. Nice. Okay, so we're going to come up. And we need our dragon friend, who has become, well, a nice rack. So this is the weird one. So we need the neck joint and this tab to go up through here. So the neck joint will want to go up here, and the neck tab will go through there. Now I've only gotten this to successfully attach once, and that was basically the only time it ever properly attached. And I don't know if I'll get it again today. So, like, it's a pain. I think it comes down to getting it because it's also going down over the chest here and in through that little V groove right there. And this really, like, because I've only really combined them once before, and I've left it in combine mode since. So, knowing that, this should go on easily, and yet it does not. And I feel like there's something that I'm just flat out missing. Like, there's something happening that I'm unaware of, or something. The other option is maybe it's like this and I'm an idiot, which is always a possibility. Did that just click in place? Okay, so I always thought that that tab goes behind there, but you need to have this up, and then since that doesn't really do anything, we just sort of push it forward. But as you can see here, the legs are kind of getting away from me as I manipulate. So, I mean, now we have a good, like, 3/4 of her. And already looking super intimidating. So yeah, the mistake I was always making was getting that tab in the wrong spot. But, to be fair, if you look at the instructions, yeah, see, I guess it does show that, but you can see how I would easily get confused because, well, I'm an idiot. Okay, so now we have to get her back plug here onto that peg. And these are going to be in the way, sort of. So this is so weird looking because you end up cramming her head into such a weird spot. And then, once again, these shoulders. I don't even understand why they're doing it this way. And then these things are just back here for decoration, more or less. Because her hair is just there. And I guess you can extend those out a little if you want. And like there's a level of which you can just finagle with everything, you know. Just sort of balance everything out, but essentially we are there. This is the combine mode. And actually I think I'm gonna shove these back because they're kind of in the way at this juncture. Almost literally in the way at this juncture. So there we go. Get the ears up. But there we go. There's the combined mode of the big FireBird girls. Now the thing is, I don't know what this is called. Yeah, I don't know what this is called. But it's cool. So, I mean, her head is just articulated via the body there. You know, now we've got nice boobies. We've got some shoulder cannons, big old other cannon, or not cannons, shoulders here. These knives on the dragon are now available. We do have shoulder rotation. It can go out. You do get an elbow joint. You get a wrist joint like you do. These holding hands are here. We got the claws. I don't think you could technically articulate the waist at all. No. You do get hips, though, that work about as good as you can get them to, except that doesn't peg in worth a damn. The knee technically works as long as you're utilizing the wheel chunk of the knee, like this. You do get the ankle rocker, so forward, back, side to side, and then you can just play with the bows and stuff like that for decoration as much as you want. Now, we need to talk about weapons and such. So, right off the bat, you do have these short knives here, which are just pegged on. Come on. There we go. Oh, by the way, I did forget something. Sorry. She gets this cool visor that slides on. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, kick-ass looking visor. I don't think it goes the other way, right? I don't think it fits going that way. No. So, does it slide on over the little white parts? Oh, yeah, it does. Nice. Okay, so she does get this kick-ass visor. So, as I was trying to show off with the swords here, once again, getting her to stand, not the easiest thing in the world. So, you get the swords, and you can actually, if you try really hard, insert them into these hands, although you're definitely scraping the paint off. Can really feel it probably. Yeah, so she can hold those. But what's cool is if you don't want them there, I believe there's a way to peg them onto her side skirts here. So if you unpeg the booty there, I think. Now I saw this in the instructions. I don't know how it is doable unless you don't have the arms there. But it showed the knives pegged in here. Now I don't think there's any. Well, actually, you know what? There might be a couple small things you can use for that. So we'll look at that here in a second. By the way, the wrists here on just little swivels, which will come in handy here in a second, I think. Okay, I'm trying to get her to fucking stand on her own. There we go. Alright, what was the other thing I'm looking for? Oh yeah, shield. So, forgot to mention that. So we did do the shield when we did the Geminis. So let's see how this works. Once again, things I've only seen in pictures. There are no instructions for this. And I'm shoving a translucent part through a way too tight hand to form a shield, which worked out pretty well, if I'm honest. I didn't think that would go that well. That's actually pretty cool, and the angle that she naturally holds it at is good. Huh. Neat. Okay. So, other thing, let's go ahead and yoink the hand off. Of course. Of course. Hold on. There's a couple things you can do here, so let's just tighten this up a little. Just do this. Clean up those knees, as it were. All right. And we want this hand. So one thing is, these would not fit right out of the box. I actually had to carve that out to the point that it would fit. And that sucked. That sucked a lot. And even now, I'm scared. Like, okay, so I got it to stay. But these are the hands for holding the T-Rex hammer. Or the dragon hammer. Which, I guess, which way you can insert up and through, so you're not utilizing the thumb. Though, initially, she held it really tightly. It's almost like over time it just got weaker. Oh, look at this. I didn't even consider this. You put that up there and it like completes that chin. Nice. So yeah, it's a pretty loose hold, and also a lot of that paint rubbed off on the actual handle of the hammer / cannon, which you saw me clean that off. But essentially, as it goes, this is the combined form, pretty much ready for battle, looking pretty kick-ass, with the exception of this leg back here that keeps drooping, and the hammer that keeps drooping. So once again, that would have looked so much cooler. See, that's the problem there. Would have looked so much cooler as a cannon or as a gun rather than just a hammer. Let's see, can I rotate that shield to a meaningful position? There we go. And for reasons for a different video, I'm going to scooch this over here. Actually, I'm going to turn it ever so slightly. And you'll see what I'm talking about in another video. Actually, I want to get a good picture of that, though, because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so now basically it's time for what I think is like a final attack or a super mode. And I'm going to go ahead and pull off this visor. And something else I wanted to do, there's a custom faceplate you can kind of make that it's supposed to have. And I did do that. And you'll see it if you're a channel member on the behind the review video. Okay, so pull that off. Where did I put that face? And it is like a combo face. There we go. So that's awkward. Okay, so, and one thing I forgot is these arms are supposed to be back. And man, that's a terrible plan. Why did they do it this way? Like, you can't even utilize the shoulders properly there. Okay, so one thing we're going to do, we're going to turn these back and up. So like that. And then just kind of make them look pretty good to the best of our ability. Actually, yeah, rotate the hips down. And then pick these up. Rotate via the thigh. There we go. Alright. So we're going to take the blades off of the shoulders, as previously discussed. And I was talking about the hip thingies. I realized what I was missing. Ah, come on. There we go. Oop, almost worked the entire arm off. That would have been stupid. Okay. And those thighs are not working for me. Okay, so we want to take the swords and we're going to plug them onto the hips. They're going to end up looking like guns. Kind of like that. Sticks out a bit far, but you know, who's counting? Alright, so it's a bit of a loose fit, but it'll stay. Need to take the stars we've looked at before. We want to put a couple of them here on the knees with these pegs. So I told you we were going to utilize these holes. The side pegs over here, you're going to utilize for another one. Just kind of figure out around about how they're going to fit. I guess it stayed on. Okay. Of course. Because heaven forbid. That damn thing's going to snap right off. Okay, so I don't have any side shots to actually see how that mounts, but we're just going to hope. Okay. And then you take the last two, so we have 6 in total, and we put them up here. I think they go on like that. I'll have to consult the picture again. But it just makes sense that they go on like that. Okay. Oop. Get your legs back in there. And so, like, the image I saw had them, like, really, like, powered up and badass. And you get a really, like, ridiculous visor here. It's, like, superpower visor. Must line up on the groove. There we go. And you're supposed to bring the hair way up. And last but not least, the big swooshies. Bring them out and plug them in to the best of our abilities, like giant wingies of doom. Hey, you get back in there like I want you to. And that is pretty much it. Get her face to cooperate. So he actually had her, like, really... The images I've got have her, like, really down and, like, kicking ass. I mean, like, this is a pretty badass thing. I'm gonna have to back up, actually. Like, look at this. So, I mean, like, the inclusion of the stars there for, like, power up. Oh, shit, look at that. That's an awesome angle. Actually, adding the 2 colored eyes really makes the difference. So, ultimately, like, when you finally get the set to basically look like this, it's pretty awesome. Reminds me a bit of Kill la Kill. Like, when she's finally got her, her suit, or whatever, at full power. I say suit. I forget the terminology behind everything, but, like, you get that thing there, you got the hammer here. She's pretty badass at this rate, but of course, you have to combine all of them with everything. Like, you know, part of me wonders if, like, this was meant to, like, plug on somewhere else in this mode as well, but there's nothing about that anywhere. So, I mean, it's pretty stupid at this point, you know. Also, if you get the lightning effects here to plug on somewhere, it would also be great. You know, there's a whole lot of shit left over after the fact. And it's the only thing that sucks about this set is, one, the balance. Like, she's barely standing right now, but it looks badass. So, I mean, that's the only thing she's got going right now. She looks super badass in this pose. But that's basically it. That's all she can manage right now. I do wish these mounts here were a little bit nicer, like, or shorter, you know, so they weren't sticking out so damn far. But it's cool that you can still integrate the little daggers there. As for a culmination of parts, it's pretty cool. It's just a bit obnoxious, if we're going to be honest with ourselves here, but it's a cool set. I'm glad I also found out the extra stuff by going to the YouTube, or would never have seen how to put all the extra bits on, wouldn't know what parts went with who, because, like, the only thing that really falls flat on is lack of instructions on what to do with a lot of the things. The spare parts to make the vehicles complete, there's nothing about that in the instructions. The fact that you got water slide eyes, they don't even tell you about that. You know, they just give you extra eyes and go like, yeah, do that. They give you all the translucent pieces, no clue what to do with them. A whole separate combined mode that is zero referenced at all. Oh wait, what? Yeah, teasers for the next video. So yeah, but let me know what you guys think. If you own this, is it awesome or is it stupid? Has it broken on you? Have you had any other issues, or have you had any issues similar to what I've had? And then ultimately, like, do you think it's worth it as a set? You know? But guys, I'll catch you on the next review. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.